compete on the court,
and support off the court.
Compete with great sportsmanship and passion.
To create a supportive relationship for a lifetime.
We are the Sibley Cheatham Generals, and this is the Siouxland Pact.
R, represent. We will represent our school and the Siouxland Conference by showing up and showing out.
We're the Rock Valley Rockets.
And E stands for enhance.
Make the atmosphere better for both players and fans.
We are the Boynton Hall Comets, and S stands for support.
Support can be shown by cheering for your team and having a positive attitude.
We are the Okoboji Pioneers.
And the P in respect stands for positivity,
Which means having an encouraging attitude towards those competing, officiating, and spectating.
which leads to a positive environment.
We are the Central Lyon Lions.
The second E stands for example.
As a student section, we will set the example for others before, during, and after competition.
We are the West Lyon Wildcats.
The C stands for cheer.
As members of the Siouxland Conference, we cheer for, not against.
And respect all.
T, together.
We unite to create a positive environment. Go Warriors! We are MOC Floyd Valley.
This is the Siouxland Conference.
Protect the pact.
And hello and welcome to the ballpark in Larchwood for tonight's Siouxland Conference matchup between the visiting Unity Christian Knights and the host West Lyon Wildcats. Here's a little bit about both teams. First for Unity Christian, already 11 games under their belt. They are 7-4 on the season, led by head coach Skylar Wheeler. And they're coming off playing in a tournament. They actually played Don Bosco, and they took on Newell Fonda in that tournament as well. They lost to Don Bosco. They lost that one 8-1, so they're coming off of that loss, and they only had 3 hits as a team, and that was by Vanessa DeYoung and Emilcam. So this Unity team, who's played pretty well so far, but still coming off a bad loss to Don Bosco. And overall, however, they're batting pretty well. .270 is their team batting average, and a couple guys have really stood out so far for Unity Christian. One is Braden Bosma, and you'll hear a lot from both Braden and his brother Dylan. Both of them have been playing together really for a long time. They've been constant starters through all of Unity sports, really, and I got a chance to call some Unity basketball a couple winters ago. Those two started together, and these two are fantastic athletes, these Dylan and Braden Bosma. But Braden Bosma is batting .432 through 11 games so far. He has 2 doubles as well as 1 triple. Then Jonah DeYoung, he's been maybe a bit of a surprise. He got some playing time last year, had a pretty good year, but he's come on and played really well to start this year. He's batting .407. He's got 3 doubles to his name as well. And on the other side for West Lyon, of course, led by head coach Corey Kramer. And the Wildcats, only 4 games so far. They're 3-1. And they've done a good job of responding here in Siouxland Conference play, coming off an opening day loss to Spirit Lake. They lost 8-0, but they came back and beat Central Lyon 9-3. Mason Mulder pitched that game, and we'll hear a little bit about him. He'll start the game on the bump for West Lyon here tonight as well. And then they beat Boynton Rock Valley 12-2. Then they beat Sibley Cheatham 9-0. And a couple guys that we can look out for West Lyon, at least so far. Again, these stats only through 4 games, but Cooper Schoening, his first year starting for West Lyon, he's done a pretty solid job so far, batting .305 through 4 games. and all 5 of his hits so far have been singles. And Carter Vermeer, coming off a great year at the plate, he started off hot as well. 3 for 10, but batting .300, and he has 3 singles as well. And I'll just quick go through both teams' starting pitchers. First, for West Lyon, we will see Mason Mulder. And I was not here when West Lyon took on Central Lyon. That would have been, just about a week and a half ago. But from what I hear, Mason Mulder maybe has the best velocity on the team, but a senior is Mulder. He got the win against Central Lyon. He's 1-0. He went 4 1/3, had 91 pitches, gave up 2 runs. Both of them earned 5 walks, but he had 11 strikeouts and threw 4 1/3 innings. That is honestly pretty ridiculous. So we'll have to see if he can do the same thing to a pretty solid lineup up and down for Unity Christian. And on the other side for those Unity Christian Knights, as I get their stats pulled up here, we will see Kyan Emmelkamp. And another note about this Unity Christian roster, very young, and I counted, these two teams played each other in the playoffs last year right here at the ballpark in Larchwood. There are about 9 guys from that Unity Christian starting lineup that return this year. I believe there's 1 new guy just because they had some guys DHing for other guys, but 9 guys returned from that Unity Christian team that played really well. They were 17-14 last year. They've started off really well this year. They've been young in multiple sports, but they're talented and very athletic. But Kyan Emmelkamp has, I get his stats pulled up here. Emmelkamp so far this season, he has 2 starts, 4 total appearances. He is 1-1 on the season. 15 innings he has pitched. He's given up 5 earned runs, 6 total, so 1 unearned run in there. 9 walks, 21 strikeouts. He leads Unity Christian in strikeouts with those 21 Ks. Also has a 2.33 ERA. And really quickly before they get into starting lineups and as they finish getting the field ready to go, as both teams just finished up their infield, I'll go through the starting lineups. First for Unity Christian, we'll see the catcher, number 6, Dylan Bosma, batting second, the third baseman, Brady Boogard. Batting third, the third baseman, Braden Bosma. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Graydon Van Essen. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Jonah DeYoung. Batting sixth, the second baseman, Austin Wieringa. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Austin Hall. I believe that is the only new face we'll see in this Unity Christian lineup, at least from when West Lyon took on Central Lyon last year in the playoffs. Otherwise, like I mentioned, Kyan Emmelkamp will pitch. He'll bat eighth. And then Adler Van Essen will be the DH. He will DH for the center fielder, Ethan Van Ginkel. On the other side, for West Lyon, we'll see Gage Blauette. He'll play second base, batting second, the shortstop, Carter Vermeer. And DHing will be Bryce Cook. He'll hit for the pitcher, Mason Mulder. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Cooper Schoening. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Tate Hoff. Batting sixth, the catcher, Bryson Childers. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Ridge Kramer. And batting eighth, the right fielder, Riker Metzger. Batting ninth, the left fielder, Keegan Roderts. So I think I'll go ahead and take a quick break, and we should be back right around they start giving the starting lineups as well as the national anthem. So I'll take a quick break. I'll be back right around first pitch. You're watching West Lyon Baseball on YouTube. And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood for the Siouxland Conference matchup between Unity Christian and West Lyon. And this is also a rematch from a playoff game last year where West Lyon beat Unity Christian 12-2. But keep in mind, Unity Christian returns just about everybody from that team. West Lyon returns about 3 guys. But some things that kind of went into that game, West Lyon drew a lot of walks. 8 walks through that game. That's what really ended up winning the game for them. They took advantage of a lot of free bases, only 8 hits on the day, but Tate Hoff had a double in that game. Jaden Vermeer got a double, but obviously he is a senior and he graduated. Otherwise, Gage Blowett, we'll see him tonight. He had a single in that game, but you could kind of tell through that game and kind of through Unity's season that, I mean, these guys were really young. A lot of sophomores and freshmen. I believe the oldest guy in that lineup was a junior. No seniors in that Unity Christian lineup last season. And you can just kind of tell, just give these guys some time and they'll be good. They've had a solid start to the year, and we're kind of seeing as well just the matchups between these teams, really in every sport, especially basketball. These guys had some battles. Unity Christian obviously knocked out West Lyon in basketball to go to the state tournament, so who knows, maybe a little bit of bad blood in this game, but I think this West Lyon Unity Christian Siouxland Conference matchup is going to turn into, I think, a pretty good rivalry as we keep going throughout the years here with this matchup. And leading off for Unity Christian is Dylan Bosma, the catcher. And Bosma has been very familiar to varsity sports for Unity Christian, as he was a starter as a freshman for their basketball team, and now doing some good things for their baseball team as he looks at strike 1, finally counts 2-1. Pitcher, like I mentioned earlier, Mason Mulder, a very high velocity guy. 11 strikeouts in his last appearance, but something he's got to rein in is his control as he gets Bosma to swing and chase upstairs for strike 2. Had 5 walks through 4 1/3 last time, and he fell behind early, got it back to 2-2. We'll see if he can put away Dylan Bosma. That one just misses, I think, just below the knees. Not a bad spot from Mulder. See if he can win the at-bat right here. That's a ground ball foul down the third base line. And Bosma, 361 batter, 439 is his on-base percentage. And from the stretch, the 3-2 pitch, once again, it is in the dirt for ball 4. And Bosma draws a leadoff walk after a pretty solid at-bat. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Brady Boogard. Boogard, 23 at-bats to his name. He's batting 174. But he has done a solid job of getting on base. 387 is his on-base percentage. And Boogard, 4 of 23, 3 singles, 1 doubles. He lays down a bunt. He bunted off of himself. It is a foul ball. I think some of the West Lyon coaches try to argue that that might have hit him out of the box, but the home plate umpire disagrees. Count is 0-1. But Boogard, 4 RBI on the season. He's drawn 5 walks. He's been hit by a pitch 3 times, which accounts for his solid on-base percentage. Looking to get that average up as the season goes along. That's in their first strike. Counts 0-2. I believe this is a new look for Unity Christian as well. I'm liking the baby blue uniforms, the baby blue stirrups to match. 0-2, nobody out, runner on first base. It's a ground ball over near short that's going to get into left field for a base hit, and Unity Christian has their first 2 men on. As that went right between Ridge Kramer at third and Carter Vermeer at short, and that'll bring up a dangerous hitter in Braden Bosma. Braden Bosma, Dylan Bosma, they are brothers. Braden Bosma still only a junior. Feels like he's been around the block forever. And Dylan Bosma's brother, only a sophomore. But Bosma, a 471 hitter. First pitch to him, misses high and away for ball 1. And his on-base percentage as well, .514. He is 16 of 34 at the plates, 13 singles, 2 doubles, 1 triple. He's walked once, been hit by a pitch twice. Just a really good all-around athlete at the plate for Unity Christian as he swings and misses for strike one. And I believe we got some better audio than last time. We got a nice little wind guard. Looks like a rabbit tail by my mouth, but you don't see wind, or you don't hear wind. Just absolutely attacking the microphone like last week. That's in there for a strike on the outside corner. Counts 1-2. Not a whole lot of wind tonight, however. A beautiful night here in Larchwood. But the bugs are out and about, unfortunately. And the 1-2 from Mulder is popped up, out of play, and foul. That lands near the stop sign as you drive into the ballpark in Larchwood. And from the stretch, we'll try that 1-2 count again. The ground ball over to first. As fielded by Schoening, his only play is to first to run over there and get the force out. But the runners will move up, so that'll act as almost a sac bunt for Braden Bosma. But there is one away. Runners move up to second and third for the cleanup batter, Graydon Van Essen. And Van Essen's done a good job in that cleanup role. He's a junior. As Bryson Childress goes up and talks to Mulder. And Van Essen, 10 of 27 at the plate, all 10 of his hits being singles. He's driven in 10 runs. He's drawn one walk, and unfortunately for him, he's been hit by a pitch 4 times so far through 11 games. And the first pitch to Van Essen. A little low, just below the knees, not a bad spot. And Van Essen working off of a good campaign from last year. He was a sophomore last year, obviously, junior this year, another returning starter. You're going to see returning starters up and down this Unity Christian lineup as that one misses away. Van Essen, a .341 batter last season. Hit a couple doubles, but not a lot of power. Like I said, 2 doubles, 29 singles last year. Has not had an extra base hit so far this season. That one misses as well. Counts 3-0. Mentioned earlier, Mulder a little trouble with his control against Central Lyon. The last time he pitched in his only start of the year so far. We'll see if he can ring it in and come back from this 3-0 hole. Strike one. And the JV game before this is usually a pretty good indication of how the game's going to go. I believe our JV team won 2-1. So expect a good game. I think just on paper we were expecting this to be a solid game as well. Time called at the plate. Three and one the count, one away. Runners at second and third. It's a fly ball down the right field line that's going to go out of play for a foul ball. Counts full. And give Mulder some credit every time he's fallen behind so far in this first inning. He's found a way to battle back. But a big pitch here early in this game, top of the first inning. 3-2 pitch. It's a fly ball into right field. Metzger ranging back, and he'll make the catch. Runner will tag from third. Here comes a throw, and that's going to be offline. And a run comes in to score. Dylan Bosma scores the first run for Unity Christian. And a good at-bat from Graydon Van Essen, running the count full and hitting a sac fly to get Unity Christian on the board. That will bring up the left fielder, Jonah DeYoung. And DeYoung, a sophomore. And he's batting .385. And that's in there for a strike. Also keep in mind as well, I believe I'm reading these stats. I believe I printed them off before their stats from their game against Don Bosco were inputted, so keep that in mind. So I believe I'm a game short when I read these stats off, but that's in their first strike. Counts 0-2. But through their first 10 games, DeYoung batted .385, 7 singles, 3 doubles. He drove in 5 runs, walked 5 times, and he was hit by a pitch 5 times so far this season. On base percentage of .556, as it looked like he was hit right there. Actually,
It's over the plate.
and it looks like the umpires are going to talk about it. Westline coaches, I believe, arguing if that was a swing. I looked down right when it happened, because DeYoung's body language said that that might not have been a swing because he was staying put, but nonetheless, he'll be granted first base. Runners at the corners. And that'll bring up Austin Wieringa. Wieringa, a sophomore, through their first 10 games, batting .320. 6 singles. He's at 2 triples on the season, driven in 6 runs, 4 walks, and an on-base percentage of .387 as he looks at ball 1. And Wieringa, a guy who played extremely well when these two schools played in basketball this season, as that one's going to be popped up out of play. Counts even at 1-1. So runners at the corners, 2 away. Unity Christian with an early 1-0 lead. Misses high. As DeYoung will take second base. So now runners at second and third for Austin Wieringa. Already a run across for Unity Christian. 2-1 from Mulder is a foul ball out of play. Evens the count at 2-2. As Mulder comes set, and the 2-2 pitch. In there for strike 3, a big strike 3 for Mason Mulder as he gets out of a jam there. Does give up a run. We'll see if the Wildcats can match it in the bottom of the first inning. You're watching Westline Baseball on YouTube. And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood. In case you missed it in the pregame, Westline will face Kyan Emmelkamp. He's a starter for Unity Christian. And some numbers on Emmelkamp. This will be his, I believe, his third start, fourth appearance. Again, this is through their first 10 games, but 15 innings. He's given up 5 earned runs, 6 total, 21 strikeouts, 9 walks. He's also hit 2 batters. And leading off will be Gage Blauett. As the Wildcats have to dig out of a slight early 1-0 hole, but some numbers on Blauett. 286 is batting average through 4 games as he looks to strike 1. Blauett 2 of 7 at the plate, 2 singles, but get this, he has walked 9 times through 4 games. So his on-base percentage right now actually off the charts at .688, as you see it right there on your screen. Counts even at 1-1. Swing and a miss. Emmelkamp pulled the string for strike 2. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the first inning. Unity Christian leads 1-0. One, 2. Misses low. Not a bad spot from Emmelkamp. Counts even at 2-2. And the 2-2 is a swing and a foul ball. Blauett had a solid day against Silvio Cheatham last week. Went 1 of 2 with a single. And that's in there for strike 3. And Blauett down on strikes looking. That will bring up Carter Vermeer. And something the Wildcats can work on as the season goes along. I believe against Silvio Cheatham. They got the win, they got it done, but they didn't hit a lot of things very hard. As that one is in there for a strike. Hopefully they can respond here. But Vermeer, 300 batting average, 3 of 10, 3 singles, driven in 2 runs. Has 4 walks on the season as he looks at ball 1 in the dirt to even the count at 1-1 with Bryce Cook in the on-deck circle. One misses low. Vermeer also a football player. I believe Westland fans saw him filling at quarterback for a few games. He was a solid player on the Westline football team that made it to the quarterfinals this past fall. The senior's last sport as a Wildcat as he faces a 2-1 pitch as that one misses low. A good count for a good hitter in Carter Vermeer. See if he can take advantage of the good count here. And the 3-1. Misses low. Vermeer draws a walk. And that will bring up the aforementioned Bryce Cook. And some numbers on Bryce Cook. The DH, 2 of 10, so batting 200. 1 single, 1 double to his name. Driven in 2 runs. Has scored 3 runs. Throw back to first. Not a throw, I believe it was just a look over at first. But Cook also has drawn 5 walks, been hit by a pitch once. Throw back to first is not in time. Vermeer just barely back in safely, counts 0-1. On the count. And the pitch from Emmelkamp in their first strike. Got that inner third of the plate. And Cook behind 0-2 in the count. As Emmelkamp takes a look at Vermeer. It's a ground ball over to short. Field touch on second, fire over to first is in time. for a good double play turn by Hall at shortstop. A 6-3 double play will end the West Lyon threat in the bottom of the first. It's 1-0 after one. We'll get you to the top of the second after this. You're watching West Lyon Baseball on YouTube. And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood. Top of the second inning, Unity Christian with an early 1-0 leading off is the shortstop Austin Hall. We just saw him turn a pretty solid double play. 6-3 double play as he swings and misses the left-hander for strike one. Hall, a 148 batter so far. The only new starter from the Unity Christian team from last year. That's in there for strike two. But Hall so far, he's 4 of 27 at the plate, all 4 of his hits being singles, 3 RBI, 9 walks, so his on-base percentage is .398. Strike three called, a good pitch from Mulder, and a good start to the inning as he gets his second strikeout of the game, coming off a game where he had 11 through 4 1/3 against Central Lyon. We're already seeing Mulder's pitch count get up to 32. That's something we'll have to keep in mind. I think that's what pulled him out of the game against Central Lyon when he pitched against them about a month, a week and a half ago. And that'll bring him the pitcher, Kyan Emmelkamp. And he'll try to bunt for a base hit, but he bunts it too hard back to Mulder, who sort of first is in time for out number one. 1 pitch, 1 out. For 2 outs, So 2 away here in the top of the second inning. That will bring up Adler Van Essen, the DH. He's DHing for the center fielder, Ethan Van Ginkel. Van Essen, as he swings through that one for strike one. His batting average so far, he has, at least according to my stats, 8 games played, batting .062 as he looks at strike two. 1 hit through 16 at-bats for him so far. That hit a single. Driven in 2 runs, but he does have 8 walks. He's been hit by a pinch once, so he has an on-base percentage of .400. That's a foul ball back to the screen. Count remains 0-2. Seen a bit of a cleaner inning so far, at least, from Mulder as he faces this bottom of the Unity Christian order, but that top of the order is pretty good. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, got him on a curveball, drop third strike, throw to first, nice and easy, is scooped out by Cooper Schoening for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for Mason Mulder. We'll get to the bottom of the second after this. You're watching West Lyon Baseball on YouTube. And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood, bottom of the second inning. West Lyon looking to respond to the one-run top of the first inning from Unity Christian, but it is the 4, 5, and 6 batters due up for West Lyon. The bottom of the first started out with a strikeout, then Carter Vermeer walked, then Bryce Cook rounded into a double play. But here is Cooper Schoening, the first baseman, as he looks at ball one inside. And Schoening has the best batting average, at least so far, through 4 games for West Lyon, batting .385. As that one misses for ball 2. But Schoening, 5 hits on the year, all 5 of his hits being singles. He's driven in 5 runs, drawn 3 walks, and has an on-base percentage of .500. Hits that one hard. That is fair down the right field line, and Schoening is aboard with a leadoff single. And that will bring up Tate Hoff. And Hoff, a junior, a guy who's been starting since his freshman year. And just like the Bosmas for Unity Christian, he's kind of been a mainstay in a lot of varsity lineups through West Lyon Athletics. Believe he got some playing time even as a freshman in football. Obviously here in baseball as well. Was a busy guy at the state track meet a couple weeks back. Off to a solid start here at the plate so far. Batting .286. 4 for 14, 2 singles, 2 triples as well. As he fouls that one out of play just over my head. 5 RBI for Hoff as well. He's walked 1 time. He's laid down 1 sack bunt. His on-base percentage, .333, is slugging at .571. So that one almost hits Hoff. Throw back to first, Schoening back in time. Counts even 1-1, nobody out. West Lyon with another base runner for the 2nd straight inning. Not really sure what Schoening's speed is over at first, but I know that Coach Kramer loves to be aggressive on the base paths. Squares the bunt, gets it down, it will roll foul down the first base line. And also an interesting decision for Coach Kramer to have his best batter really probably bunt. But now with 2 strikes, Hoff will have to swing away. And this is gearing up to be a pretty good Siouxland Conference matchup between 2 pretty good teams. As Emmelkamp comes set, and the 1-2 is a hard ground ball over to third. Throw to second is going to be in time. So they get the out at second. Hoff is safe at first. And a good play by Bosma over at third to stop that hard ground ball. It looked like Hoff was protecting with 2 strikes. That might have been a little high, but he got it down, and he'll reach with a fielder's choice. So 1 away for Bryson Childress, the catcher. And Childress so far through 4 games, batting .308, 4 for 13 at the plate, 4 singles. 6 RBI, 2 walks, squares the bunt, pulls it back. Throw down to second is not in time. Hoff in there with the stolen base, showing off that state track speed. And there's a runner in scoring position for West Lyon. And I think this is the type of game that West Lyon's going to try to scratch across any run that they can. I know Coach Kramer likes to play a little small ball as well as being aggressive on the base paths. So a runner in scoring position for a batter that's played well so far. And there's a ground ball that's going to get past the first baseman, Van Essen. Hoff going around third, and he will be in there sliding. The throw off the dirt and above the head of the catcher, Bosma. And Bryson Childress drives in a run. He'll go down to second on the throw. It's tied at 1-1. So courtesy runner at second as well. That'll be Carson Meyer. Saw him play pretty well in right field last week, and we'll see if he can do his thing as a courtesy runner. But Coach Kramer likes to put his Curtis Renner's down in his lineup, and it looks like Carson Meyer's nickname on the team is Smalls. Obviously a Sandlot reference there, but seems like it's fitting, but he's not as small as he used to be. And a meeting at the mound with Coach Skylar Wheeler, with Ridge Kramer waiting to bat. So still a runner at second, game tied at 1 for Ridge Kramer. You see it on the screen, batting .286 with an on-base percentage of .375. He has drawn 1 walk. But I believe he's only hit through 2 games, so he's 2 of 7 at the plate, 1 single, 1 double. In their first strike on the outside corner. Driven in 3 runs as well through his limited at-bat so far on this young season. And the 0-1. Misses high to even the count at 1-1. Looking like it might be a back and forth matchup between Westline and Unity here. And depending on how the season shakes out, I wouldn't be surprised if these two see each other in the playoffs as well down the road as Kramer looks at strike 2. And it's pretty common for the IHSAA to put Unity and Westline kind of in the same bracket, same pot in a lot of different sports. But 1-2 is the count to Ridge Kramer as he grounds that one over to second. Fielded by Wieringa, throw to first in time, but Carson Meyer does advance over to third. So a quality at bat for Ridge Kramer as he scoots the runner over to third. And that'll bring up Riker Metzger, the right fielder today. And you see it on your screen. Metzger off to a bit of a slow start, batting .125, but again, still early on in the season, 1 of 8 at the plate. His 1 hit was a double. That misses low. He has drawn 4 walks, like you see, so a good on-base percentage of .417. And he fouls that off the chest protector of the catcher. And not a bad pitch to hit. I think Metzger right on it. Looks like he just missed it. One and one the count, 2 away. Runner at third for Westline, looking to take their first lead. Unity Christian 1 in the first. Now Westline 1 with 1 here in the second inning. That's in their first strike right on that outer edge. 1-2 is the count to Riker Metzger. Good job by Westline answering back to the Unity Christian run in the first. We'll see if they can add on. And from the stretch, that's popped up in foul territory. Van Essen giving it a look, but it will go out of play. Counts 1-2. And that's tap foul. Great job by Metzger fighting off that breaking ball. As Gage Blauwet runs right in front of me, grabbing that foul ball. Count will remain at 1-2. Great job with 2 strikes so far here by Riker Metzger. Good eye, and Metzger's going to, Meyer's going to come in to score off the wild pitch, and it's 2-1. So now a clean slate with 2 outs for Riker Metzger. 2-2 pitch. Misses low, counts 3-2. Really, regardless of what happens here for Riker Metzger, we've seen him be really tough with 2 strikes, fall behind, work it back to a 3-2 count, get the pitch count up for Kyan Emmelkamp. So whatever happens at the end of this at-bat, it'll be a good at-bat for Riker Metzger. And he looks the ball forward. Metzger is aboard. That'll bring up the 9-hitter, Keegan Rodert. So runner at first for Rodert. And Rodert, solid start to the year. 300 his batting average. 3 for 10, all 3 of his hits being singles. And misses low for ball 1. Emmelkamp, a little trouble with his control here as we go to the end and get to the end of this bottom of the second inning. But Rodert, 2 RBI on the season, 2 walks as well, so that brought his on-base percentage up to .417. Again, pretty early in the season, only 4 games so far for West Lyon. That misses outside for ball 2. A good count here for Keegan Rodert. And time called here by the home plate umpire. And I'm not for sure what the stoppage is. And I think the home plate umpire said something about Emmelkamp's hat. I think he's wanting him to make sure that stays secure on his head, but we'll play on. Probably noticed a few players kind of swatting at gnats through the game. The bugs, like I mentioned earlier, are pretty bad and kind of eating up my legs, my neck, and it looks like it's eating away at the players as well. But counts 2-0 to Keegan Rodert. Bats in their first strike at the knees. So a much-needed strike for Kyan Emmelkamp as he looks to get back on track here against Keegan Rodert. Runner at first, 2 away. It's a fly ball into right field. And that will fall foul down the right field line with Bugard giving chase. Probably the only spot in the field I have a blind spot to is down the right field line.
Gotta build a booth up here. Should be sitting on Tanner Olson's deck out there.
2-2 the count to Keegan Rodert. From the stretch to 2-2, misses outside. And I believe Tanner Olson lives down in left field in one of those apartments. See if we can set up a booth maybe down there. I believe T.O.'s out watching the game as well. 3-2 the count. Runner will be moving here with 2 outs. Bats in there for strike 3. Got Rodert looking. But the Wildcats get 2 runs across in the bottom of the second. We've played 2 complete. Wildcats lead 2-1. We'll get you the top of the third after this. You're watching West Lyon Baseball on YouTube.
We are
The Siouxland Conference.
We are the Sheldon Orums.
The Siouxland Conference mantra is to compete on the court
and support off the court.
Compete with great sportsmanship and passion.
To create a supportive relationship for a lifetime.
We are the Sibley Cheatin' Generals, and this is the Siouxland Pact.
R, represent. We will represent our school and the Siouxland Conference by showing up and showing out.
We're the Rock Valley Rockets.
And E stands for enhance.
Make the atmosphere better for both players and fans.
We are the Boyd Hall Comets, and S stands for support.
Support can be shown by cheering for your team and having a positive attitude.
We are the Okoboji Pioneers.
And the P in respect stands for positivity,
Which means having an encouraging attitude towards those competing, officiating, and spectating.
which leads to a positive environment.
We are the Central Lyon Lions.
The second E stands for example.
As a student section, we will set the example for others before, during, and after competition.
We are the West Lyon Wildcats.
The C stands for cheer.
As members of the Siouxland Conference, we cheer for, not against.
And respect all.
T.
And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood. And Unity started with an early 1-0 lead. West Lyon responded with 2 of their own in the bottom of the second, but it's the top of the order due up for Unity. They're the batters that got that 1-0 lead earlier in the game. Count's 1-0 now to Dylan Bosma. He walked, came around to score the only Unity run so far. That misses high and tight. Swing and a miss for strike one, and took a healthy hack at that. Bosma aggressive there on the 2-1 pitch, 2-0 pitch, and now it's strike two to even the count at 2-2. Bosma, as a freshman last year, batted .314, and he's built off that so far this year. In there for strike three. Good job of coming back from a 2-0 count by Mason Mulder, and Bosma is down on strikes. That'll bring up Brady Bugard. And he singled his last time up. He has the only hit of the game so far for Unity Christian. And this is high and tight. But the top of the first inning where Unity scored their run and went walk, single, and then a 3 unassisted that moved the runners to second and third, then a sac fly, and that's what got that run across for Unity. 1-0 the count. And their first strike. Counts even 1-1. And Bugard had a solid year last year for Unity as well, batted .330. And I believe I misspoke in the pregame. Unity Christian as a team, I believe I said .270 the pregame, actually as a team so far. .282, so even better. But a dangerous hitting team as that one's a line drive down the right field line that will fall foul. Two and two, the count to Brady Bogard. Fouled it away on a pitch that was probably going to be upstairs. And a 2-2 pitch once again hits Bogard. So a runner on, tying run is on, the go-ahead run at the plate, and that go-ahead run is Braden Bosma. He grounded into a 3 unassisted his first time up. And these Bosma brothers that we see so far, not the only athletic Bosma. Their older brother Clayton is starting safety for the Northwestern College football team. But Bosma with that 3 unassisted, like I mentioned earlier, brought runners to second and third. As that one gets away from Childers, his throw down to second won't be in time, and Bogard is in there at second base. Bosma already building off a good year from last year as well. He was a .373 batter last year, and batting in extremely well, .471, as he fouled that one off into Childers' glove for strike one. And the 1-1 from Mulder's a swing and a miss for strike two. Mulder 4 strikeouts so far through 2 1/3. Looking for his 5th here. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike three. Feel like a little extra on that one from Mulder. And there's 2 away for Graydon Van Essen. He drove in the only Unity run back in the first with his sac fly. He flied out to right field. Van Essen, another 300-plus batter from last season. That one misses outside. Van Essen, a .341 batter last year. 31 hits, 29 singles, 2 doubles. Drove in 20 runs a season ago. And Van Essen, again, over 300 to start this season. Almost at 400 with a .370 batting average as the count is 2-0 to him. That's in there for a strike. And this Unity Christian team, at least in recent years, for baseball as well as basketball, has had quite a bit of success. As when I was in high school, they played us in the state sub-state game, as that one's fouled away out of play. The year after that, they were state semifinalists, and since then they've gotten some taste of playoffs. They had to had a big roster turnover after that year they went to state. They've been kind of slowly building, and they've been good so far this season. Last year they got a taste of a good playoff win, out pitch dueling Central Line. I believe they walked off that game against Central Line in their opening round playoff game, 1-0. So this baseball program has definitely a taste of going far in playoffs in baseball as well as basketball, has a taste of playoff wins, and this is a program that is on the up and up for sure. 3-2 the count to Van Essen. Fly ball down the right field line. That will go out of play. I believe that just missed that Unity Christian bus. Not a great spot to park that bus down the right field line. Count still 3-2. Runner at second, 2 away as Mulder steps off. And the payoff coming from Mulder is another foul ball again down the right field line, down the first base line. Van Essen doing a great job of letting the ball travel with 2 strikes. All his foul balls have been to right field. And a good battle here between Mulder and Van Essen. 3-2 pitch once again, misses high and away. Good at bat from Graydon Van Essen. There's runners at first and second. That'll bring up Jonah DeYoung. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. Eventually stranded at second. And for Mulder so far today, he's walked 2 guys, but he's also hit 2 guys, which includes him hitting Jonah DeYoung. Misses outside. And for DeYoung, that was his 6th time this season being hit by a pitch. 1-0 the count to Jonah DeYoung. That's in there for a strike. And DeYoung, with all the, if you compare him to the starters from this Unity Christian team last year, he was on the lower end of that batting average spectrum, batted .253, but a solid year. He's definitely played better this year as he lines that one into right field. That is caught by Cooper Schoening at first base. A great job going over to his right, catching that line drive from Jonah DeYoung. And there's 3 away. Unity Christian threatens, can't get a run across. We'll get you the bottom of the 3rd after this. You're watching Westline Baseball on YouTube. And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood. Unity Christian led off with their top of the order and their half of the inning. Now West Lyon will do the same thing. This is Gage Blauette leading off for West Lyon. As he looks at ball 1 high, Blauette struck out his first time up. Looking to at least just get on and try to add some insurance runs to this West Lyon lead as that one misses low. Counts to 2-0. So Blauett ahead in the count and the 2-0 pitch. That one in there for a strike. Checked his swing that time, called the ball low. A good count for Gage Blauett. It's 3-1. And Blauett, when these two met in the playoffs last year, had a good game. 1 of 2, hit a single, and had an RBI. As he grounds that one over to the Unity dugout for a foul ball. Blauett also went 1 for 2. Drew a couple walks against Silvio Cheaton last week in their 9-0 win. 3-2 pitch. Ground ball over to first, fielded by Vanessa, and he'll step on the bag for out number 1. So Blauett grounds into a 3 unassisted. That will bring up Carter Vermeer. So bottom of the third, 1 away. West Lyon leads 2-1. And in comes the shortstop, Carter Vermeer. He walked his first time up, but eventually forced out at second on a inning-ending double play as he swings through that one for strike 1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Step out of the box for a second, just gather himself here as he works to work back ahead in the count, now down 0-2. In there for strike 3. Vermeer down on 3 straight strikes, and that will bring up Bryce Cook, looking to do something here with 2 outs. And Cook grounded into a double play his first time up. And the first pitch to Bryce Cook in their first strike. Nobody on, 2 away. And Amelkamp working quickly. That misses low, and it gets away from the catcher Bosma. Counts 1-1. Cook, his first year starting, so did not get an at-bats when these two teams played in the playoffs last year, as he lines out one into right field. And that is going to be caught on the run by the right fielder Bogard. Caught diving to his left. And back-to-back innings end with back-to-back great catches. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Unity Christian. We play 3 complete. We'll get to the top of the 4th after this. You're watching West Lyon Baseball on YouTube. And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood. 2-1 is your score. West Lyon on top. That's a ground ball down the first baseline. That will go foul off the bat of Austin Wieringa. And Unity Christian back in basketball season knocked out West Lyon in the sub-state game. Austin Wieringa, one of those guys that had a fantastic game for Unity Christian in that game. He struck out his first time up back in the first inning as he lines that one over to second and fielded on 1 hop by Blauett. Throw to first in time for out number 1. And that'll bring up Austin Hall. Hall, the shortstop, a sophomore. He struck out his first time up as well. And their first strike. I just love seeing the dust come off of Childress' glove every time he catches one of Mulder's pitches. Foul tip into the glove of Childress, counts 0-2. Obviously don't have a radar gun down here, but I think we've predicted that Mulder's probably at least throwing the low 80s, maybe even mid 80s, which at this level is pretty darn good, as that one's flying into left field. Roder coming in will make the catch for out number 2. That's a tough read, a line drive off the bat of a left-hander, and that's tailing to the right a little bit, but Roder did a great job of reading that one off the bat. Also kind of a nonchalant play, but nonetheless, Rodert made the play, and there's 2 away for the pitcher, Kyan Emmelkamp. In their first strike at the letters. And Emmelkamp, his first time up, tried to bunt for a base hit, but he bunted it right back to Mulder as he looks at ball 1. Counts even 1-1. As another hard hit ball down the first baseline. That is foul for strike 2. But Emmelkamp, I actually didn't get a chance to mention, he's a .240 hitter coming into this game as he flies that one out of play. And the count remains at 1-2. But Emmelkamp also .345 on base percentage. 6 for 25, all 6 of his hits being singles. 5 RBI, 3 walks. Was also hit by 1 pitch. At least that was through their first 10 games, not counting their game against Don Bosco. That one misses high. Nobody on, 2 away. 2-2 the counts. As Mason Mulder looking for a clean inning here. 2-2 pitch. Not a bad spot. Did not get the call. Westline dugout thought they'd get the call. Not quite. Counts 3-2. And the payoff. Misses high. And that was ball 4. Emmelkamp looks like he forgot the count there for a second. Nonetheless, he gets first base. That'll bring up the 9 batter, Adler Van Essen. And you feel like you absolutely have to get Van Essen here. You do not want to face the top of the Unity Christian Order with a couple runners on. And this is high for ball 1. Van Essen struck out his first time up. He's DHing for the center fielder, Ethan Van Ginkel. But Van Essen, like I mentioned, I have his stats through his first 8 games. A .062 batters. He swings and misses. Throw back to first. Gets away from Schoening at first base. It goes into right field. And Emmelkamp will go down to second base. Low throw from Childress, but I think Schoening will tell you, and I think he gave everyone the my bad, but could have been better on both parties there. But counts 1-1. 1-1, misses high, and now we just got a different situation now. We got a runner in scoring position after that error. And now a good count to Adler Van Essen. Misses high. And I believe I mentioned this earlier, but Van Essen, I mentioned a .062 batting average, but he's good at getting on base. He had 8 walks through his first 8 games. .400 was his on-base percentage. Got to go after him here. And their first strike at the belt. And if I'm Mulder going against a batter that doesn't have a good batting average, I just think like I said, just get a fastball, get it right by him. Payoff pitch. Misses, low and away, ball 4, and here comes the top of the order. So back-to-back walks. And that brings up Dylan Bosma. Childress is going to talk to Mulder. Top of the 4th inning. It's a 2-1 game. Unity struck first with 1 in the first, and then Westline responded with 2 in the second. But a dangerous hitter at the plate here in Dylan Bosma. So top of the order, Dylan Bosma. He's 0 for 1. He walked in the first, came around to score, then he struck out in the third. Breaking ball, not quite in there. It's outside. It's outside with Brady Boogard on deck, who just made a fantastic play in right field to end the last inning. And the 1-0. Foul ball out of play. It's really close to hitting a car back there. Counts even 1-1. Like this is a big time for momentum to swing in either way for both teams. Misses outside. 2-1 is your count. For the most part, Mulder's pitched pretty well, but just like against Central Line, he's struggled a little bit with his control, but it really hasn't been like 4 pitch walks. It's been batters fighting off 2 strike counts and finding ways on. As that one's fouled off of Bosma down the third baseline. It was fouled off his leg, and it's a foul ball. But for Mulder so far, 4 walks. He's also hit a couple batters. But he's also struck out 5. 2-2. Outside and in the dirt for ball 3. Now this is tricky because runners will be going here. 3-2 count with 2 outs. Anything in the gap here, if Bosma can get it there, is probably going to score 2 and give him the lead. Payoff pitch. Popped up, maybe playable for Childress. He'll give it a look, but it'll go out of play. Just out of play. It'll go and bounce in the stands for a foul ball. So we'll try the 3-2 count again. 3-2. Misses high and away, the 3rd straight walk for Mulder. After getting 2 quick outs, Mulder walks the bases loaded. That'll bring up Brady Bogard. He has the only Unity hit so far. He did that way back in the first. But he's 1 for 1, a single, and he was hit by a pitch. Ground ball over to third, fielded by Kramer. Trouble with it, but he'll step on third for out number 3. So Unity leaves the bases loaded. We're still at 2-1. We'll get you the bottom of the 4th after this. You're watching Westline Baseball on YouTube. And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood. 4, 5, and 6 batters due up for West Lyon. Unity Christian coming off an inning where they just left the bases loaded. West Lyon looking to add some insurance runs. Also looks like Ridge Kramer is getting loose in the West Lyon bullpen. I believe Mulder's pitch count was maxed at about 90. And that one's flied into right field, and Bogard will make the catch on the run. And it looked like he didn't get a great read, at least from my vantage point. Not a fantastic read nonetheless. He gets Schoening out on one pitch. So F9 for Cooper Schoening. That'll bring up Tate Hoff. And his first at-bat reached on a fielder's choice, came around to score. As he looks at strike one, also stole the base. 0-1 the count with nobody on and one away. Swing and a miss for strike two. Emmelkamp, after giving up a couple in the second, he's settled in and settled in well. Only up to about 56 pitches. 0-2. Ground ball tapped over to third. Field on a hop. Throw across the diamond is in time. A great job by Bosma at third, and there's 2 away. Nice strong throw by Braden Bosma. As Hoff jogs his way back to the dugout, that'll bring up Bryson Childress with 2 away. And Childress has 1 of 2 base hits as he looks at ball 1 in the dirt. Had a solid at bat his first time up. He singled, and he came around to score. One and 0 the count to the West Lyon catcher. That's a hard line drive that's going to fall into right field for a base hit. And Childress is aboard with the second hit of the game. And we'll see what the Wildcats can do with 2 away, as Carson Meyer is going to courtesy run over at first with Ridge Kramer at the plate. So 2 away, runner at first for Ridge Kramer. And Meyer has some speed. He's also a state track guy, so we'll see how aggressive Coach Kramer gets with him. Misses low for ball 1. Kramer grounded out to second his first time up, but it was a productive at-bat. He moved the runners to second and third. He fouls that one back for strike 1. Kramer also made a play to end the last half inning. Bobbled it a little bit, but he got the forced out at third. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw down to second is not in time. Meyer in there with a stolen base. Ball goes into center field, but Meyer will stay put. Two and 1 the count to Ridge Kramer as the sun sets here in Larchwood and the lights become a little brighter. And from the stretch and the pitch is tapped foul behind the plate. Looked like a bit of a late swing, late decision to swing by Ridge Kramer. Counts even at 2-2, and the 2-2 pitch misses away. Got to run the count full to 3-2 for Ridge Kramer. Misses away for, actually, okay, that count was actually 2-2. I'll take that back. So now the count's 3-2. Counts full to Ridge Kramer. Kramer went 1 of 4 against Livio Cheatham last week. Looking for his second straight game with a base hit. Payoff pitch. Line drive straight to second base, and Wieringa makes a catch for out number 3. So Westline does threaten, can't get a run across. We played 4 complete. We'll get you to the top of the 5th after this. You're watching Westline Baseball on YouTube. And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood. New pitcher for West Lyon will be Ridge Kramer. This is his second game played. He has 1 start. He's 1-0 on the mound. He has 5 innings pitched so far in this young season. He's given up 2 runs, but both of them not earned. He has walked 6, struck out 2. And obviously without giving up an earned run, his ERA is at 0. So we'll see if he can rein in his control here against a good Unity lineup up and down, 1 through 9. But this is Braden Bosma, 3-4-5, due up, squared to bunt, pulled to back, called the ball. Bosma is 0 for 2 thus far. Grounded into a 3 unassisted in the first, then he struck out in the third. That one just missed as well. Not a bad spot from Kramer. And the 2-0. Hit hard on the left field line, but Bosma just early on it. And I believe some more defensive changes. It looks like Riker Metzger now at third, and Carson Meyer is in right. This is high for ball 3. That's flied into right center field. Hoff giving chase. Meyer giving chase. Hoff calls him off, makes a catch for out number 1. That will bring up Graydon Van Essen. Van Essen technically 0 for 0. He has a sac fly back in the first, then he walked in the third. On base percentage, 1,000. How? Actually, no, take it back. On base percentage, yeah, it is still 1,000, I believe. But hit a sac fly, like I mentioned, drove in the only Unity run. And he tries to call for time. The umpire didn't give it to him, and I think Ridge Kramer just saw it at the last second, didn't pitch it. So it looks like we're going to pretend like that didn't happen. Counts 1-0. Misses away for ball 2. And the 2-0 from Kramer, swing and a miss for strike 1. One thing about these Unity batters, we saw Bosma swing away pretty aggressive on a 3-1 pitch. We saw how aggressive Van Essen just was on a 2-0 pitch. Not afraid to be aggressive when they're ahead in the count as he grounds out one over to Metzger at third. His throw across the diamond in time for out number 2. A good play by Metzger, getting it on the big hop, and he gets a good throw across the diamond for out number 2. 2 quick outs. That'll bring up Jonah DeYoung. DeYoung 0 for 1, hit by a pitch in the first, and then had a line out to first back in the third. The fly ball into left. Roeder will come in, call for it, make the catch for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for Ridge Kramer in his first inning of work. We'll get to the bottom of the 5th after this. You're watching Westland Baseball on YouTube. And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood. 2-1 is your score, bottom of the 5th inning. Kine Emmelkamp, the starting pitcher, still out there for Unity. Only 65 pitches so far, so we'll see how long he can go. But due up for the Wildcats, 8-9-1. Recker Metzger, Keegan Roderts, and in the top of the order, Gage Blauwet as Metzger looks at strike 1. Metzger started the game in right field, made the move over to third. He is 0 for 0. He walked his first time up as he swings and misses for strike 1. That walk came in the second inning. And that was a fantastic at-bat by him as well. But he'll look at strike 3 right there. So Riker Metzger down on 3 straight strikes. That'll bring up Keegan Roeder. Just made the catch to end the top of the 5th inning for Unity Christian. He struck out his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. And the first pitch to Roeder, to swing and a miss at a pitch that might have been at the top of the zone, but maybe a little high as well. And the 0-1. Checked his swing. It looked like he went around, and he did for strike 2. It's good to see Roeder out there as first-year starter, a senior, and he's doing a good job taking advantage of his opportunity. But was a 300 batter, I believe. I should take that back. Yes, I believe he was a 300 batter coming in. 417 on base percentage. 0-2 is the count to him. 0-2. Misses outside. Nobody on, 1 away. Nobody has scored since the bottom of the second inning when West Lions scored 2. Swing and a miss, foul tip into the glove for strike 3. So Emmelkamp coming out and mowing down this bottom of the West Lion order. That will bring up Gage Blauwet. Blauwet, he is 0 for 2. He struck out in the first, then he grounded into a 3 unassisted in the third. 286 batter coming into the game. These averages are going to just continue to fluctuate really hard through these first few games. As he looks at ball 1 right there. One and 0 the counts. From the windup, the 1-0. That's going to miss outside. Counts 2-0. This is low in Blauett. He's a good dangerous hitter in his own right. He's ahead 3-0. I'd imagine he's taken all the way here. Westline just needs a base runner or two with 2 away, and they're top of the order up. And he is taking all the way. Counts 3-1 after the strike there on the inside corner and at the knees. Still a good count here for Blauett. We'll see how aggressive he is as he flies that one into right center field. And a tough play for Van Ginkel coming in, but he makes a catch, calling off the second baseman Wieringa. And there's 3 away, a 1-2-3 inning for Kyan Emmelkamp. And we played 5 complete. We'll get you the 6 after this. You're watching Westline Baseball on YouTube. And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Unity Christian as that one's flied up from Austin Wieringa. And Blauett will call for it, make the catch for out number 1. So 1 quick out for Ridge Kramer, who's come in and pitched really well. He sat down the first 4 batters he has faced. That'll bring him Austin Hall. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout. And that hit him right in that elbow guard. As it falls to the ground, he'll pick it up, and he'll jog over to first. So here's Kyan Emmelkamp with the top of the order looming. These are 2 really important outs that Ridge Kramer has to get. But Emmelkamp 0 for 1. A ground out on an attempt to bunt for a base hit that didn't work. Then he walked in the 4th. Looked like he was maybe squaring a bunt there, but he pulled it back. Wouldn't be a bad idea to try to bunt a guy over. But still 1 out. You'd have to bunt him for your 9 batter. We'll see what Unity tries to do. One 0 from Kramer. Squared a bunt again, pulled it back. This time it's called a strike. And Emmelkamp has a bit of a bigger strike zone with how tall he is. One from Kramer. This is outside. Kramer so far is forced to fly out, ground out, another fly out, then he forced to pop out, then his first base runner was when he just hit Austin Hall. Wildcats nursing a 2-1 lead. In their first strike at the belt. Counts even at 2-2. And from the stretch, 2-2. Popped it up, and that will go out of play. Count will remain at 2-2. So runner at first. 2-2 is your count. Top of the 6th inning. 2-2. Thought about it, didn't go. A good pitch from Kramer, though. That'll run the count full at 3-2. Looks like we have a gnat visiting our camera.
I think there's a spider web, a cobweb.
Or maybe even a spider web, cobweb. So we'll see if we can get that taken care of. Anyway, 3-2 is your count. Ground ball over to short, fielded by Vermeer. Throw to second in time. Throw on to first will not be in time, but the Wildcats get the lead runner. And Emmelkamp reaches on a fielder's choice. And we got rid of that spider. So a clear camera for the 9-batter Adler Van Essen. He's 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk. Doesn't really hit for average, but a great on-base percentage. First pitch to Van Essen, misses high. And from the stretch, a big out to get from Kramer. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw down to second is going to be offline and going to center field. Emmelkamp thought about it, but he'll stay put. So Emmelkamp into second with a stolen base. So the tying run 180 feet away. Counts 1-1. And the pitch from Kramer. Breaking ball, misses outside. Two and one the count. Swing and a miss for strike two. The top of the sixth, Wildcats lead 2-1. Unity Christian a runner at second base. That's in there for strike three. Kramer got him looking a huge out to end the sixth inning. And the Wildcats will go into the bottom of the sixth, leading 2-1. We'll get you that bottom of the sixth after this. You're watching Westline Baseball on YouTube. And welcome back to the ballpark in Larchard. If you're wondering if these Nats have gotten any better, the answer is no. But it's 2-1 here in the bottom of the sixth inning, and Westline could really use at least one run here. Unity will have their top of the order due up in the top of the seventh. We'll see what they can do. Carter Vermeer, 0 for 1. He walks in the first, and he struck out in the third. Misses low for ball one. Vermeer also made a pretty solid play at shortstop in the top of the sixth. And Emmelkamp, starting pitcher for Unity Christian, has pitched really well today as he gets strike one over. A 1-2-3 inning last inning. Gave up a base hit in the fourth, but otherwise pretty smooth sailing except for that two-run second. That misses away for ball two. But Emmelkamp, 3 total 1-2-3 innings so far. 2-1 pitch in their first strike. A good pitch and a great location from Emmelkamp. Counts even 2-2, and it's going to miss low. And Vermeer works it to a 3-2 count. With Bryce Cook waiting on deck, and Schoening will bat this inning as well. Payoff. That's a line drive that's going to fall for a base hit between first and second. Vermeer to hustle over to first, but he's aboard with the leadoff single. So here's your DH, Bryce Cook. He started off the day DHing for Mason Mulder. I believe now he's DHing for Carson Meyer, who entered the game into right field. But Cook is 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded into a double play in the first. That ended the first inning. In their first strike on the outside corner. Then Cook also flew out to right in the third. One misses high. Counts even at 1-1. Wonder what Coach Kramer's thinking here. I mean, has to at least get one run across in any way he can. I'm not for sure on what Vermeer's speed is, but maybe he thinks about stealing. That's in their first strike on the outside corner. I wouldn't imagine he'd have a Cook bunt. The pop that he has in his bat, but we'll actually, with 2 strikes now, we won't. But 1-2 the count, nobody out, runner at first. Fly ball into right field. That is going to fall for a base hit. Vermeer around second. We'll see if he'll get the wave around third. He will. No, he'll get held up at third base. So it's a double for Bryce Cook. Hit hard into right field. Runners at second and third for Cooper Schoening.
Next up will be the first baseman, number 21, Cooper Schoening.
Unity Christian will bring their infield in. Jackson Heyer will come in to run for Bryce Cook. So Cooper Schoening aboard. He singled back in the second. He flew out to right in the fourth, so he's 1 for 2. The cleanup batter for West Lyon, Tate Hoff behind him. Emmelkamp will pitch from the windup. In the dirt, it came up and hit Schoening.
It's a dead ball.
And he will get awarded first base. Bases are loaded for Tate Hoff. Might be the first time I've seen that. A ball hit the dirt, then come up and hit a batter, but it's a hit batter nonetheless. Infield still in for Unity Christian. Any ground ball in the infield is going to go right home.
Come on, Tate.
But here's Tate Hoff. Fielder's choice in the second. Grounded it out to third in the fourth. He's 0 for 2 as he takes a good hack at that one for strike 1. Feel like he just missed it. Base hit here would be huge. 0-1. Ground ball that is going to be foul, just barely foul down the left field line. 0-2 is the count, and that was such a tough call to make. Hard for me to tell. That was so close. And I do have another umpire who's standing behind me who umpires as well. He said that was a foul ball. So 0-2 is the count to Tate Hoff.
I don't know. You said it was foul, so
From the windup, the 0-2 to Tate Hoff. Swing and a miss for strike 3. One away, and that'll bring up Bryson Childers, but he is 2 for 2. So a hot batter at the plate for West Lyon. 2 singles to his name. Courtesy runner came around to score in the second. His courtesy runner also stole a base in the fourth. His so-called time, maybe something in his eye. But West Lyon maybe, I don't know, inches away from scoring 2 more runs in that Tate Hoff at bat. But Unity Christian keeps their infield in. Low for ball 1. Good count here for Bryson Childress. And for Emmelkamp, the first time he's been in trouble for a while as that one misses low for ball 2. Low and in the dirt. Good take from Childress. At this point, the Wildcats will take a run any way they can. Childress walks, so be it. 2-0. That's in there for a strike. That looked a little high from here. Nonetheless, still a good count for Childress. I think his dad sitting beside me wasn't a fan of the call. 2-1. In there for a strike at the knees. Good pitch from Emmelkamp. Counts even 2-2. Ridge Kramer waiting on deck. 2-2. Late swing fouled into the Unity Christian dugout. Looks like a late read on that curveball from Emmelkamp. Did a good job of fighting it off. So we'll try the 2-2 pitch again. Big lead at second from Heiser. 2-2. In the dirt. Almost gets away from Bosma. It's kind of lucky that ball stayed in front of the plate. He looks like he lost track of the ball. Nonetheless, 3-2 is the count. Big pitch coming up for both sides. From the windup, the payoff from Emmelkamp. And the dirt, ball 4. Another run's going to come in to score for West Lyon, and it's 3-1. Great at-bat from Bryson Childress. He's aboard for the 3rd time today. Bases are still loaded. Still only 1 out. Looks like Easton DeYoung to courtesy run for West Lyon. Ridge Kramer at the plate. Kramer, the relief pitcher for West Lyon. He has 2 innings of shutout work in relief for Mason Mulder, who put in a good start for the Wildcats. First pitch to Kramer. Grounded foul, looked like it was off his foot. Bases loaded, 1 out. It's Ridge Kramer at the plate. Came in batting .286. Could use a big knock right here. 0-1. On the outside corner, strike 2. Riker Metzger, I believe, waiting on deck. And the pitch from Emmelkamp. In there for strike 3, got Kramer looking, and there's 2 away. That'll bring up Riker Metzger. 1 run aboard for West Lyon this inning. They had 2 in the second, now 1 in the 6th. Unity Christian had 1 in the 1st. But Riker Metzger, big at bat for him with the bases loaded. He walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 5th. From the windup still. In the dirt, kicks away. Runners are going to try to score. Good read from Heiser. He's in there safely. Great dirt ball read from third by Jackson Heiser. All the runners move up. It's 4-1. West Lyon leads. Ball just kicked away from Bosma at the plate. Still runners at second and third. We'll see what Metzger can do. This inning has gone single, double, hit by a pitch, strikeout, walk, strikeout. And a run scored on, I would probably call that a pass ball. And then also a walk by Bryson Childers, but the bases got loaded with a single, double, and hit by pitch. Want to know the count to Riker Metzger. Foul tip into the glove of Bosma. Count is 1-1. Still runners at second and third for the Wildcats. Flied into right field. Playable for Bogard and Wright. He'll call for it, make the catch for out number 3, but not before West Lyon scores 2 in the 6th. We play 6 complete. We'll get you to the top of the 7th. After this, you're watching West Lyon Baseball on YouTube. Welcome back to the ballpark in Larchwood. The good news for West Lyon, they scored 2 in the bottom of the 6th. And to extend their lead to 4-1. The bad news, it's Unity Christian's top of their order due up. Dylan Bosma, Brady Bugard, and Braden Bosma all will bat this inning. And here's Dylan Bosma. He has reached twice. Walked in the first, he struck out in the third, then he walked in the fourth. Flies out into left field. Roder ranging over to his left. He'll make the catch for out number 1. Interesting to see Bosma swinging away at the first pitch he sees. You would think you'd at least want to see a strike. Down 3 in the 7th inning. But here comes Brady Bogard. 1 for 2 at the plate. He looks to strike 1. He singled in the first, was hit by a pitch in the third, then he grounded into a fielder's choice. Didn't reach on the fielder's choice. His fielder's choice ended the inning in the 4th inning. Breaking ball, called a strike. Looked like, if I'm being honest, looked like it might have been a little low. Nonetheless, 0-2's the count. From the lineup, the 0-2 from Kramer. Fouled away. Great job by Bogard. O2 pitch once again from Kramer. Breaking ball almost got Bogard to bite. Counts 1-2. One-two from Kramer. Ground ball foul down the third base line. And we'll try the 1-2 count once again. Unity Christian came into this game 7-4. West Lyon 3-1. Playing each other in baseball for the first time with both teams as members of the Siouxland Conference. Breaking ball misses low for ball 2. feel like this is going to be a pretty solid rivalry in a bunch of different sports for a while. Unity Christian usually always has good athletes, always has competitive teams. I feel like the same thing goes for West Lyon. 2-2 is the count. And the pitch from Kramer in there for strike 3 at the knees. And there's 2 away here in the 7th inning. And the last hope for Unity Christian is Braden Bosma. He's 0 for 3. And that's surprising considering he was batting just about 500 coming into this game. Grounded into a 3 unassisted in the first, struck out in the third, tries to bunt for a base hit. He might get there. Kramer has no play. So now Bosma 1 for 4 as he's aboard for Graydon Van Essen. Just a well-placed bunt that time by Bosma. Not a whole lot that Metzger or Kramer could do. But Van Essen, he's 0 for 1. A sac fly in the first. He drove in the only Unity run. A walk in the third. A ground out in the 5th as he fouls that one away. Still surprised to see him swinging away on the first pitch. Typically, when you're down in the last inning, you want to at least see 1 strike before you really start swinging away. 0-1. Ground ball over to short, fielded by Vermeer. He'll throw to first, and that's in time, and it's a quality win for West Lyon. They'll take the Siouxland Conference matchup 4-1 over Unity Christian. West Lyon moves to 4-1. Unity Christian moves down to 7-5. And I think with that, I'll take a break. I'll be back with the brief recap. You're watching West Lyon Baseball on YouTube. And we welcome you back to the ballpark in Larchwood. West Lyon takes his 4-1 win. Here's some of your stats. First for Unity, Dylan Bosma went 0 for 2 with a couple walks. Brady Bogard went 1 for 3 with a single. Braden Bosma went 1 for 4 with a single, a bunt single. Graydon Van Essen 0 for 2 with a sac fly, RBI, and a walk. Jonah DeYoung 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Austin Wieringa 0 for 3. Austin Hall 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Kyan Emmelkamp 0 for 2 with a walk. Adler Van Essen 0 for 2 with a walk. And on the mound, Kyan Emmelkamp pitched a pretty good game, gave up all 4 of the West Lyon runs, but he went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Again, these stats are pretty unofficial, but that gives you a rough idea of how these guys performed. Gage Blowett, batting-wise for West Lyon, went 0 for 3. Carter Vermeer went 1 for 2 with a single. Bryce Cook 1 for 3 with a big double in the 6th. Cooper Stoning 1 for 2 with a single and a hit by pitch. And Tate Hoff went 0 for 3 with the strikeouts. Bryson Childers 2 for 2, 2 singles and 3 walks. He reached every time he was up. Ridge Kramer 0 for 3. Riker Metzger 0 for 2 with the walk. And then Keegan Rodert went 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts. On the mound for the Wildcats, Mason Mulder went 4 innings, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks, 1 hit, gave up the only Unity run. And Ridge Kramer pitched the final 3, gave up 2 strikeouts, 1 hit, no runs, and no walks. And coming up next for West Lyon, as soon as I get their schedule right in front of me, I believe their next home game is going to be on Friday. Let's see here. Yes, their next home game is Friday. That is actually their next game overall. So their next game will be Friday at home, where they will host Sioux Center. Then the following day, they'll host their kind of annual doubleheader they do against Galen Catholic. They'll have a doubleheader Saturday starting at 10 a.m. Second game to follow against Galen Catholic. Then next week, Monday, they will be on the road at Sheldon. So a good quality win against a good team for West Lyon. They move up to 4-1. Unity Christian drops to 7-5. So with that, I will see you on Friday. This is Jordan DeSmit signing off.